Hi everyone. So today I'm doing a makeup date. And unfortunately, I really only have like purchases to share, which is really weird. So I might end up titling this just recent purchases, which is doesn't happen very often for me. But I have a few things that I'm decluttering that I can show too. And I thought maybe had like one sunscreen empty, but that doesn't feel like worth it to show. And I also just can't find it right now. I thought I put it away and I can't find it. So yeah, that's why. I have a few other empties that are coming up pretty soon. So I'll include it in a future video there. But I did have a few purchases. If you saw my lip lab video, I shared that I had a few complexion products that came into my collection. And I also had a few other like miscellaneous things too. So first and foremost, I'm sure you're curious what complexion products I got. So I did end up getting the Shiseido foundations. And I just did not have a good experience with, I tried to get to a store and swatch them, but I just couldn't seem to tell in that environment. And then they weren't able to give me samples either. Just they said like there wasn't an associate that could help me, and that was frustrating. So I feel like because I was frustrated, I didn't have a good experience. So I ended up kind of like, I don't know if it was like in retaliation, but it was kind of one of those things where it just like bothered me so much. I was like, fine, I'll just get it. And so I ended up buying it full price. I chose the shade Sand 250. This is the Shiseido Self Refreshing Foundation. Has a really, really nice cap. It doesn't open, so it doesn't help with my frankening tendencies. So I can't be impulsive with this, is what I'm trying to say. But basically, if you don't know my backstory with this, is that, well, for one, it's not a very like it's not being talked about much. It is also an expensive foundation. Retail is 47 here in the US, $47 in the US, and it is SPF 30. And I really got it because of the name. I used to do synchronous swimming when I was younger. I do it now as a master swimmer. And I was like, I would just love to see the word synchro on my vanity whenever I'm doing my makeup. Now that I have them in my hands, I'm like, really? Did I really need that? Like, it's pretty much the experience that I thought it would be. It's not like glamorous or anything, but it's nice. These are hefty bottles. So as you can see, I have two because I first bought 250 sand, and I'll do a small pump here. And like online, the model who looked, I feel like similar to me was wearing this. But as you can see, like I already knew like from other swatches that it potentially would be too light. It does oxidize just a little bit. And of course, like the way it adjusts is also like how much you blend it in, right? Like, so I had a really thick swatch and that obviously didn't blend in, but now it's blending in better now that I thinned it out. I kind of knew it, but then, all of the different like foundation match apps or whatever would match me with 330 bamboo. And I picked this up during the Memorial Day sale on the Shiseido website. And so it was on sale. And but the model who was wearing this was like very much tanner than me. And so that's the pump there. Here's like a heavy swatch. And yeah, this one does match me better. And so it's like, yeah, I should have listened to the foundation matchers, but I was just so confused, I think, by the models that they chose to wear these. And so I ended up picking up both. One was like, I'm kind of like right in between my middle and right between my winter and summer shades. So I was like, I might as well just, I know these are expensive, but I've been wanting these for such a long time. I could technically, return it, but at the same time, I know that if I return it, it'll just probably get trashed. So because I've been waiting, I talked about this online in 2019. I think I started thinking about it when I was still like a student without money back in like 2017 or whenever they released these. And yeah, I mean, I've just been thinking about this for a long time. And so I was like, I guess I'll have two foundations. I mean, from previous experience, I was able to use up two foundations in a year. And so I feel like between a winter shade and a summer shade, I think I could definitely get through both of them, and just enjoy the experience. I think sometimes that's the consequence of purchasing things you don't necessarily need. It's like I told myself I would have a good experience with it, and I really want that. So, despite me being out a good bit of money, I will do my best to enjoy these as much as I can. And now that I can like mix them and stuff, like I can kind of, you know, I can still have fun with it. I will say that because those are SPF 30, I was actually able to reimburse them with my on my FSA account. And so if you have FSA, maybe even HSA, but in the US, you can basically have you can basically set aside of funds from your salary that goes towards like specifically healthcare related items. I don't think it's taxed. Like, I don't know. You can read up onto it. It's definitely like a whole thing. US healthcare is really weird, but I think it's anything over SPF 15 you can technically reimburse. So I was able to reimburse those two. I was also looking at a concealer that also had SPF, but I ended up not getting that, which I'll show you in a bit. And then even the Sephora Sun Safety Kit, they reimbursed that for me too. So it's not a full reimbursement because like it obviously came out of, you know, our household income to begin with, but at least it's in a pot of money that's designated for that type of stuff. So I was like, I'll make use of that, and I don't feel as bad about those purchases now. Does that justify anything? No, but I'll roll with it. So in the future, I mean, I think I always have like an affinity towards SPF makeup products like primers, foundations, even powders, even though that's not very common, and concealers and like, you know, anything that has SPF in it. I think it just, I'm like, if I'm wearing my face out, I'm not getting a ton of pictures taken, so I might as well just protect my face while I'm at it. So anyways, that was kind of an aside, but that's what makeup dates are for me to ramble. And then with my Sephora order of one of the Shiseido foundations, one of the perks was a code for a little Dior lip gloss. It's so cute. So next to my Rare Beauty lip gloss, this is what it looks like. It is so tiny. Like, I'm almost afraid if I put this in my purse, I will lose it. But the shade was like rose nude or something like that. If anyone's familiar with Dior lip glosses and it seems to sound right, then please tell me. But let's see if I can don't want to cover my foundation swatches. But yeah, it's a really nice nude, pinky nude color. Maybe a little bit more opaque than I'm used to, but it's just about my let me put a little bit on. It's just about my lip color, if not just a tad lighter, which is, I'll make it work. Um, Smell wise, it's actually really nice. What is that? It's like a marshmallow something. I don't know. It doesn't scream Dior like scent to me, but it works. But yeah, this is super duper cute. It's, of course, doesn't feel as luxe as like probably the full size one, but, and unfortunately, I think the opening is too small for me to really do anything with it after I complete it. And I always check to see if the applicator will reach the bottom, and it doesn't quite look like it. So I don't know how exactly I'll be scraping out the bottom here, but we'll see how this does. I'll just, maybe this is the beginning of my miniature makeup collection. I mean, it's super duper cute. So we'll see what happens with that. I just have it sitting out and just reminds me how cute it is. All right, and then the other two things that are kind of random is I am starting to break out again. You can see one here. I had a scar here. Yeah, my hormones are raging. So I got some more pimple patches, and yeah, just got this. Also FSA covered, by the way, if you're curious. And this one's FSA covered too. I'm just, of course, trying to put everything on my FSA account. This is the Neutrogena Sport Face sunscreen. I have so many bottles of sunscreen running around, but I think between the kids, myself, the different activities we're doing, like, it just makes sense for me to be having some good sunscreen around. Since I swim and I will be swimming outside during the summer, I really wanted I'm hoping that this will be something that like doesn't sting my eyes and cause me grief. But we'll see what happens. So that one's there. I have a small handful of declutters, and I might as well show you before like it's just gone. Most of them are samples. One of them is the Isle of Paradise tanning drops. I don't think I'll use this. These are a few samples that I got from Sephora. One of them looks like a Lancome sample, Bare Minerals sample, which I actually use this one up. I didn't request this sample, and I didn't request this sample either. It's a jet lag mask. So, yeah, I will probably pass this on to someone in my community. I also decided I will be decluttering my Cover FX custom enhancer drops. I just can't seem to figure out how to really use them or really even enjoy using them. I kind of see how it helps me look glowy, but it's not something that I can see myself committing to like finishing up. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with my makeup date today. I'm trying to look around at things and see if there's anything. Oh, I forgot my concealer palette. Oh my goodness. I didn't like have it sitting out. That's why. So I was thinking of getting the MAC SPF 35 like pot concealer. I really like my experience with the little pot concealer I had once I decanted my stick concealers, if any of you remember that. And so I was like, I think some sort of cream concealer would work well for me. I don't think anybody notices. I don't even see them in pictures, but after my pregnancy, I started getting some darkness in the outer corner, either lack of sleep. I know melasma is a thing too, for especially postpartum. And so I wasn't sure if that was what's going on, or if it's just like a natural shadow that I constantly see in the mirror and I'm just really annoyed by. So I'm like, I really want to see if I can figure this out. I've tried eye serums, I've tried eye creams, and not a ton, but I think enough for me to realize like I'm not super satisfied, and it's not really worth it for me to go hunting for like some sort of miracle product. It'd be great, but honestly, I just need to sleep more than anything else. And I truly believe that as much as um, it might distract me, I know other people don't really see it, and I would much rather that people look at my whole face, like my eyes or my smile. I hope I'm smiling at people when I'm talking, um, rather than my under eye circles, right? So it's like, why do I really need to cover them up? But I was like, since I love my palettes, I'm gonna buy another one. And this is one that I picked up during the Memorial Day sale, and this is the MAC concealer palette in medium. It's a little bit dark for me. I'm like right in between their light palette and their medium palette, but I was like, given I'm going to the summer, that these two shades are considerably very light. Let's watch them over here. That I can maybe mix these with some of these to kind of like correct them. I mean, that's the whole point of a palette. It's you're naturally supposed to franken them as you go. So I think NC30 right here is probably my best match, and my arm is darker than my face, by the way, but it still looks like it matches pretty well. NW25 is the other one there, and it's definitely peachier, which I'm wondering if will help with the under eye stuff, but I'm still playing around with it, and like I'm looking at tutorials and stuff like that. I know the next fad right now, or at least a few like tutorials I've seen, is to put lip balm under your eyes first. So like Aquaphor, or I have like an SPF lip balm here that I tried today, and it looks okay. I don't really see a huge difference, honestly, than my typical. Maybe I'm not as annoyed because I know that I have some concealer there. And then these two shades obviously look quite a bit darker, and I might use these as cream bronzers. I'm not really sure yet, but I also found out that if I mix these two, probably shouldn't have done that, but that's fine. It does look more like my skin tone. So it's like, you know, just naturally as I use them, I think I'll be mixing them and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out if this texture is something I like. I mean, I think I'll use it regardless and just kind of work with it. You know, put powder over it and things like that to make it work. Because I just like I like, is usability the right word for this? But yeah, like my experience with this, I enjoy much more than the liquid concealers and dipping back and forth. And okay, let me be a geek and talk about product amounts. Okay, so the MAC pot concealer is has SPF 35. I was like, oh, maybe I can reimburse it into FSA, but I wasn't sure my shade. So part of me was like really drawn to this because there were so many shades, could mix and match. I was dealing with under eyes. I have other things to correct. Like I feel like this is very versatile in that way, right? So this only has 6 grams of product. That means there's only 1 gram of each like color in here. The pot has 7 grams of product. So if you know your shade in MAC, like I feel like by the end of this, I will know my shade in MAC and will probably pick up the NC30 pot concealer because 7 grams of product is a lot. Most of the little liquid ones are maybe like 3 to 4 milliliters, grams. Like those are kind of interchangeable in my mind. Not quite, because one's like volume versus one's density. But anyways, yeah, somewhat comparable. And the stick ones that I just used up, I think were also around 3, maybe a little less, like 2.7 or something. So that pot concealer has a lot. In comparison, this is the MAC Groundwork Paint Pot. This has 5 grams of product in it, and it looks massive, right? Like there's like if it was filled properly, it looks huge. So I think the way they somehow package the concealer, it's even in a smaller container than this. This is glass, and it definitely has a pretty wide glass ring all around. So, I mean, that goes to show you how much packaging is kind of wasted. But yeah, can you imagine, like, I just like almost can't fathom having a larger product than this in my collection to try to use up. Because this is already taking me, you know, forever. I think it'll take me, I bought it last summer ish, and so it's definitely going to take me, I think, 2 to 3 years to use up. I'm obviously mixing other things in there, but still, like, my experience with that, it's going to be with me for about 3 years. So I can't even imagine like a pot concealer, but I can see for some people like that would be quite a good investment, a really, really good investment, especially when like some of the MAC products are on sale. So that is my little thing with this and why I chose it. You know, trying to justify my purchase here. Of course, magnetized palette, always very nice, and it matches my lip palette. These are both similar products, and I will say that with like shrinkflation and stuff, this one is they used to label this differently. This is their packaging from 10 years ago, so as you can see, their packaging stands the test of time. But this had 1.2 grams of product per pan versus this is 1 gram of product per pan. So it looks the same, obviously, but I'm assuming it's more shallow somehow and all that jazz. But that is where we're at with things. I will definitely have more than enough product to get through. So, all right. I think that's my makeup date for right now. I am excited that my makeup date will probably be much less purchases and more about empties that I used up. I'm already eyeing a few here that I'm very excited to see out of my collection. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.